Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Week 7. This is the Matt Wilson pregame show. I'm Mike Daggs. This is Gerald Smith. Gerald, 6 weeks in the books, almost at midway through the season. We'll be actually halfway through right after this week.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what teams are really made of, especially at this point in the season. Now that we're getting halfway through, if teams have an identity, I'm sure they're starting to show what they're all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Some teams still undefeated, some teams still looking for their first win. Still a lot of season left. We got a little bit more than half of the season remaining. Then we'll get the playoffs going. Championship coming up in just a couple of months. Still a lot of exciting football left. But first, let's start talking about Week 7. No Friday games, so here we are on Saturday, a special Saturday edition of the Matt Wilson pregame show.
Cameron Irvine gave us a Friday night off to spend with our
did.
Significant others, so here we are. We're just one day late, but we're still at it.
Still at it. Still got the show going. So, hey, let's start breaking down this Week 7 schedule that's starting in just about a half hour's time. We've got Vancouver at Fort Worth kicking off Week 7 for us with Damon Simeon and John Warren on the call. That one's going to be a great game. A couple of historical powerhouse teams getting ready to kick off Week 7. Los Angeles at Mexico City. Colin and Rick back in the booth this week. We missed Rick last week, but he's back at it. Looking forward to that game. Go Aztecs. It's listen, I know we usually try to dress a little nicer for the show, but
I always like to see every team win. You being my best bud, I do want to see Mexico City win, but I can't wait to see us get a official Rick Meter graphic. Give the people what they want, Mr. Irvine. The Rick Meter graphic. We need that.
So then at 9 p.m. tonight, we've got Tulsa at Houston. You and I will be doing that game. At 9:15, Motor City at Portland. Mark Lopez, Anthony Ellison on the call, and that will be our Saturday slate. The usual 4 games on a Saturday block, but then we kick it over to Sunday. If you're not a fan of evening football and you want to get some afternoon action in, Week 7's the week for you because we've got a couple of games during the 1 p.m. Eastern time block, starting with Seattle at Charleston. Cameron Duty, Rochelle Colston on the call. Cameron Duty, once again doing a fantastic job on play-by-play. He's a switch hitter for us.
Yeah, we actually got rolled over last week, but Cameron Duty still made it entertaining, made it enjoyable out of what was just a terrible game for us.
Makes it worth listening to.
It sure does.
Hear the sultry sound of his country voice.
Yes, Southern accent. I love it.
And Rochelle joining him. Bound to be a great call. DC at Jacksonville. I apologize in advance to everybody. I intentionally put Eric Vincent on a Jacksonville home game so that he could just start obnoxiously yelling Duval the whole time. It's dumb, but it's his thing. He likes doing it. I like making him happy. He's a great guy. Eric Vincent, Brett Solberg on the call. I'm sure you'll hear Duval called every time there's a touchdown. It's going to be ridiculous, but it'll be fun. That's our 1 o'clock block. At 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, Florida at Arizona. Arizona, interesting season so far for them. They've had a couple of shutouts, but it's like then they come back and they win convincingly. Florida undefeated still. Jacob Clear, Wade Phillips on the call. That one's going to be an interesting game. So have to see what happens with that one. In that same block, Canton at Louisiana. Ramos Lynn, Alex West on the call. Canton's another one of those teams like Florida. They're undefeated. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, doing an excellent job. And they've actually, a game planning for them has been something that's been really, really tough this week, right? Because they are one of these teams in the league that are a really complete team. So not many weaknesses to try to exploit there. So we're gonna see if we can handle them at home.
Well, good luck to you. 9 p.m. on Sunday, Denver at Indianapolis. Andy Hamilton and Brett Solberg on the call. Speaking to two buds. 2 of them on the call together, and Brett Solberg doing his second game of the week for us. Appreciate him doing that one. And, that should be a great game as well. That's one of the games we're going to break down here a little bit.
Sure is.
So Queen City at Minnesota will be at the 9:15 p.m. spot. Jacob Clear again for his second game of the week, and Alex West again for his second game of the week. He's actually doing a doubleheader on back-to-back time slots. And so is Jacob. They're both doing the doubleheader this week. Queen City at Minnesota, rounding out our Sunday block. The Monday Night Spectacular this week, Baltimore at San Diego. Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, as always, on that call. Which game are you looking forward to the most this week?
You know, outside of the ones we're going to break down today, I'm really looking forward to the Baltimore-San Diego game because Baltimore seems like, hey, they got a win last week, but they do seem like they're kind of getting a step down. But San Diego seems to have found their stride.
They have.
Mike O'Neill, they started off 0-2, but then here they did, they won three straight
yep.
and doing it really, really well in convincing fashion. So that's going to be interesting to see. The former 5-time champ against, I really do think a San Diego team was overcoming.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to be a great one. So let's start breaking down some of the games from this upcoming weekend. First off, we're going to talk about Denver at Indianapolis. Sunday, 9 p.m., a couple of Central Division rivals going head-to-head in this one. Right now, they're both 2-3, and they're number 4 and 5 in that Central Division. Midway through the season, it's time to turn it around for one of these two teams. Someone's going to be going away at the end of this game at 3-3. The other team's going to drop to 2-4. So it's a little early to start talking about playoff implications, but not too early. We're getting close. We're getting real close. And, for one of them, that really starts tomorrow night because we're going to have to see, who's going to get to at least 500 and who's going to fall.
Right. And it's to me, it's never too early to start thinking about the playoffs, right? Because you want to get yourself in a position to be able to make that push, right? To get all this stuff ironed out, especially now at this point in the season. So in Denver, right, they come off 2 straight losses this season. 2 straight losses in the past 2 weeks. So Gene Struthers, he is pretty good offensively. He has 65% completion, which is number 1 in the SFL for their offense. With a top 3 QBR. So, and they do have an excellent run game with Bailey O'Shaughnessy and E. Mills. Both are averaging over 4 yards per carry, which is 4th best run game in the league to this point in the season. In the wins, their rush yards, they have averaged 161 yards per game in their wins. In their losses, they just average 98 yards on the ground. So, they need to have a better second half offense as well.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to break that down here a little bit, but they have only scored 7 points the last 2 games in the second half. So they've been playing not great at all on offensively the second half of games, and that's when you really want to get there and be able to finish it off for them.
Now, talk about their defense, though. I mean, they've got a top 10 passing defense. They're number 7 in takeaways. Talk about those defenses.
Yeah, see, and every defensive back on this team has an interception,
which is incredible.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah. And I mean, most of us have 5 or 6 guys on the back end of it. Kids, every single one has one, which means that they're doing good stuff. On that back end, being able to recognize, plays coming out, routes, and being able to see the quarterback, read the quarterback side, see where he's going, be able to pick balls off. But they need to be better on defense in the second half
just
as
like
well.
The offense. The whole team kind of seems to get to halftime.
The last 2 games, they have been outscored 35-7 in the second half. That's them giving up 35 points in the second half the last 2 weeks combined. So they're going to have to improve if they, want to win and improve themselves to 3-3.
So you talked about Gene Struthers of Denver having, the top 3 QBR. Tell us about Colin Pierce.
Well, Colin Pierce, he's number 1 at QBR. He has got 7 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions this season. I don't know if there's
Jordan Sipe is jealous of those stats.
So
just to let you know,
and that's
love you, Jordan.
And seeing how they've been known, especially Indy, right? They've been known for throwing the ball quite often. The past few seasons, under Chad Rowland and him being their passing game coordinator, doing everything they need to do, right? And Ryan Rotha, he's number 4 in receptions and yards with 4 touchdowns. But the thing that is the key to them winning, especially over, all the 2 games that they've won, is the run game. When they win, they average 120 yards a game on the ground. When they lose, only a miserable 43 yards in the run game, right? But the thing that they have going for them, they do have the fewest turnovers in the SFL, which is why I think, hey, look, they're known for protecting the ball right now, even though they like to throw it and everything else. They still can put themselves in a position to win because they are able to limit those turnovers.
And their defense is pretty solid, too. I mean, just last week, shut out Arizona.
Yeah, a very good Arizona team, right? Look, and we thought Arizona after week 1, and they got beat like they did in week 1 in a shutout. They won 2 straight games. It looked like the Arizona that we all know. But then they turn around. They actually, they pummeled Arizona, to say the least. Yep. Look, and their defense is underrated, right? They put pressure on the quarterback, and they just And you know what it's led with? Adam Weissman, I feel like he just wants to set up shop, right? Because they're all about the Ramblers and the car. Set up shop in the backfield because he actually has 17 tackles for losses, which leads the league. The guy loves getting in the backfield, very, very good play recognition and all that stuff. If they can replicate last week's performance consistently, look out SFL.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great game on Sunday, and looking forward to that one tomorrow. We've got several great games coming up right here on Saturday, though. Let's talk about Motor City at Portland next. That one's tonight, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. So this game, we talked about a lot of great games and a lot of great teams. These teams might be on the opposite side of that spectrum. These are a couple of the teams that we talked about that, they're looking for some more success. Portland's still looking for their first win. The V8s are struggling. They started off the season so far 1-4 against the winless Fleet. Both teams, they're at the bottom of their respective divisions. They both seem to struggle at scoring points in their defenses. Both, allow a lot of points to be scored. But something's got to give tonight. I mean, one of these teams is going to win. So, can Motor City get their second win? Can Portland finally get their first?
See, and what makes this matchup interesting and why I picked it, right, to break it down, because these are two teams that are in just such a weird spot, right? They don't seem like they're going too much in the right direction, right? You have two teams that might be able to figure some stuff out against one another here, right? So, in Motor City, right, everybody knows they're 1-4. They have a rough season so far. They're ranked in the bottom half in the SFL in all categories on both sides of the ball. The offense is 24th in yards a game, allowing 26 points per game to their opponent while only scoring 15 points a game.
Right.
The defense is allowing 62% conversions on third down,
which is killer.
Yeah,
you're not going to succeed with your defense constantly being worn out all game long.
And that's actually fourth worst in the SFL, ranked number 22.
Yeah.
Look, and they have to improve across the board. Now they do have a young team, so it seems like it could be one of these rebuilding, years for them, right? Where they have 9 players only in their second season, and 5 of those 9 are rookies at some of the key positions on the team. So, maybe they're looking at hey, look, we can develop some of these guys and get our feet under us and get all this experience. That way we can start, building for the future. And it seems like that's where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like you said, they've struggled this season, but Portland on the other side, they've struggled as well. They have no wins to this point. Do they have a shot? Can they turn this around? Can they get a win at least tonight?
I think they have a chance. If they have a chance against anybody, it's against another team that's struggling as well. It's especially with them being offensively, they are last or near last in almost every meaningful category, right, on both sides of the ball. They only score 8 points a game, and they surrender 4 times more than that, which is 33 points a game to their opponents. Nowhere that just doesn't spell success.
No, they got absolutely destroyed by Houston last week.
Right.
It was honestly a hard game to even watch. Houston just piled on the points.
And the reason why they do struggle is because they are giving up 80% conversion on third down to their opponents. If you're giving up that much success on third down, you're never getting off the field.
Right.
You can't get the ball back to your offense to do anything, right? And that's obviously the worst in the league, right? And the run game just hasn't been good. And it's kind of hard to say because you have a running back like Ezekiel Love back there.
Yeah, They got veteran players on their team. I mean, Nelson Lozano at tight end. They've got the talent that's on the field.
See, and that's
just got to put it together.
And in the run game, because they do have all that talent, right? Even got Scott Johnson, right? Who come from a running back pedigree himself. He's in backfield. They're only averaging 2.6 yards a carry this season. So all these, and like you mentioned before, it's really surprising because they're not a young squad. They have a veteran presence on the team, and that they just are having trouble figuring out. Now, this is just me. It's a hot take. People may not like it or whatever. Maybe it's time to start shaking things up within the coaching staff, the leadership within the organization, to try and maybe get some, coaching ability, because you have
fresh ideas,
right? And because you have the players to be successful,
right?
So, and for them not to be successful at this stage, especially with all the veteran players they have, it's kind of disappointing. And I know they're disappointed in what they're experiencing right now.
For sure. And it never hurts to get some fresh ideas in there. We did the same thing in Mexico City. I mean, Joey Ramos-Lins, but the head coach and offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, recruiter, GM, did everything.
A jack of all trades.
Yeah. And then I said, hey, man, you need a hand? And he's like, yeah, several, please, if I could. So, and I'm trying my hand now at offensive coordinator. I've taken over GM responsibilities on the team. And, we'll see if it ends up paying off or if I make it even worse. But you never can get too much help on a coaching staff and get some extra people in there. So, wishing Portland the best to get that thing turned around. They deserve it. So Tulsa at Houston. That's the game that we're going to be calling at 9 p.m. tonight. Houston, they're 4-1. They're leading the South. They went 6-6 in each of their last 2 seasons, and they're already at 4-1, and they're leading the South Division, arguably one of the toughest divisions in the league. Tulsa, they're second place in Central. They're at 3-2. They only went 4-8 last season. So arguably both of these teams are beating expectations coming into the season. Houston, they're coming off an absolute slaughter of Portland that we just talked about. Tulsa's, they're coming off a narrow victory over Atlanta. We called that game last week.
Right.
Fantastic job by Tulsa getting that one done. Houston's red hot. Tulsa, they might have their work cut out for them in this one. Break it down for us.
Tulsa has the number 1 offense in the league, led by Gabriel Manning. And
we've talked about that quite a few times.
And his production is the key to them getting wins, because when he hasn't been productive, even when he has been, they've still managed to lose a couple of games. But like when he's not productive, they did lose that game when he wasn't as productive, when he kind of got shut down. I think he had 6 receptions and 50 yards.
Right.
Which isn't a bad day.
But for Gabriel Manning, that is shut down.
So
Gabriel Manning's give me 12 catches, 250 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's a day.
And the fact that they keep throwing the ball to him, and they're being successful, and he's first in the league in receptions with 52 receptions, 910 yards, 8 touchdowns, all number 1 in the league at that wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Right. But they cannot get caught being one-dimensional. Right. And that's where I think they could start to struggle. Right. And they struggle when pressure is put on their quarterback.
Right. And we've actually talked about Tulsa a few times on this show. And I think every time I keep bringing up Phoenix Jones, and I'm waiting for him to get going because I know he can. I've seen it.
I am super glad that you mentioned that, because he was on your squad.
Yeah.
He is a elite caliber running back.
Top notch.
And if they can take advantage of that, it can take them to the next level if they can get him going.
Yes.
Right. And and another thing that helps them out too, right? And getting Phoenix Jones would take pressure off of the quarterback being pressured and Gabriel Manning having to do it all, right? And look, even at the way they've been doing it, they are number 2 in the league in third down conversions at 63% and converting on third down. So, but they're facing the number 2 pass defense coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And their defense does give up a lot of points.
Yeah, they give up a ton of points, a lot more than what you think, because their offense scores so fast. The defense is on the field way too much. Right. But they are able to generate turnovers, even though they're giving up 26 points a game to their opponents. And last week, they were able to force 3 turnovers. We called that game. Nate Heslip was all over the place. Yeah. 2 of the 3 was picked up by him, and he took it back for touchdowns.
He sure did.
So, look, if they can recreate that and also tighten up a little bit against Houston tonight, I think they have a shot, because Houston has the ability to run a very ball control offense.
Well, yeah, they're top 6 in time of possession. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the Houston offense?
Okay, time of possession is the thing that you just mentioned right there. Top 3 rushing attack, led by Josh Slapp, who is third in the league in rush yards and average over 5 yards a carry.
Right.
So far through the season. Dave Burke, he's doing what he got to do. He's hitting his top passing at DR Sim, Bovine, Mike Sangreen. They're having some of the best seasons so far that they have had in a long time. And Houston, it's the best start that they've actually had in a very long time at 4-1. Because Houston was a team, I think, way in the past, they've actually they went to championship games, I do believe, way back, if I'm not mistaken. So they do have a good pedigree of coaching, and now they're saying, hey, now it's starting to surface for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about it when you were breaking down Tulsa as far as their defense goes, the number 2 pass defense in the league. So is that something that can actually totally shut down Gabriel Manning? Like, what can they do with this?
They would like to think that they can, right? Gabe Manning will tell you exactly different. No, they're not stopping me. I'm gonna get what I want and do what I want, right? But they have limited opponents to under 170 yards in the air,
right,
and only allowing 50% completions in their 4 wins this season.
Right.
So that is going to be the key to be able to allow very minimal yards through the air and also reduce those completions, right? So, and they're only allowing 12 points per game in those same 4 wins.
Yeah.
So, which is going to be key for them as well. But, they'll still need to apply some pressure on the opposing quarterback and maybe even double team Gabriel Manning.
Yeah.
So you don't have this monster game that you're used to seeing, which is the key to Tulsa's success.
And I think that might be what Tulsa is waiting for from their opponents is, go ahead, double team, maybe even triple team Gabe Manning. We've got Phoenix Jones. He's got fresh legs midway through the season. He's still ready to go.
Yeah,
So
we'll see
what they can do with it.
I think he's just kind of gearing up. He's probably so anxious. He probably run right through a person, put a hole right through their body.
I'm waiting for it. There's going to be, I'm telling you, mark my words, there's going to be a game this season that Gabriel Manning has about 40 yards or less, and Phoenix Jones is going to have 200 plus yards and at least 3 touchdowns. It will happen.
He's that type of back.
It's going to happen. So coming up in about 10 minutes time, we kick week 7 off. Vancouver at Fort Worth. That's the game that's going to be kicking week 7 off. Vancouver is second in the Pacific Division. Fort Worth second, only behind Houston in the South Division. Both teams are coming off of multi-score victories. Vancouver beat Denver by 17. Fort Worth beat DC, another quality team, by 25. Ironically, there is a history with these teams. They've met more in the playoffs than they have in the regular season. So you've got a couple of great teams. You've got a playoff history. Got a lot on the line for both. They want that number 1 spot in their division. This game's going to have a playoff atmosphere. I'm looking forward to this.
Look, and anytime that says a lot about these teams, what the most time that they've met have been in playoffs instead of a regular season. That just tells you
they met
that
five previous games, 3 of them playoff games.
And it's crazy because you know how far you got to get in the playoffs to be able to play somebody like that many times. I mean, you're not going to meet them at the beginning and be one and done. You got to narrow it down. So they are very, very good franchise teams right here.
Both of them. Yep.
All right. So Vancouver, they finally got back in the win column last week after losing, a couple of games in a row, and their run game were key whenever they were winning. Right. They, last week they had over 170 yards on the ground, combined with all 4 of their backs, has 2 halfbacks and 2 fullbacks that are running the ball, right? And the middle schooler in Sudo Nakai, right, is averaging 6 yards a carry, right?
No offense, buddy.
The little bitty guys feed me, man. Like the little guy wants to come out and play.
Come out and play.
And he's successful. Why not give the guy the ball, right? But they had more balance last week, right? And that was make them efficient passing from Christian Brown due to the protection he was given as well. So, and they need to have more of the same against Fort Worth to be able to kind of keep that going, right? Because you don't want to turn back the clock and then kind of just fall off again. A couple games where they just kind of struggled a bit.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So talk about the defense. They know how to get to the QB. They're ranked number 2 in sacks.
2 in sacks, led by Bobo Caudill, who actually has 7 sacks on the season, which leads the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, if you can get a guy on here, 7 sacks for one person over the course of 5 games, that's
I was going to say, it's more than 1 a game. That's a great average.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. And they also have Emmanuel Blackman on the back end, who has 4 interceptions from the cornerback position, who's actually allowing them to be able to kind of shut down some opponents. So they would need both sides of that to be able to slow down the number 4 passing attack in Fort Worth coming into this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's surprising even to see Vancouver at 3-2, honestly, because they're a team that seems to always be able to just figure it out, get it done. They got a winning record. I'm expecting them to put up one heck of a fight against Fort Worth. But let's talk about this Fort Worth defense. They've been nothing short of amazing these past couple weeks.
And they only allowed 9 points the last 2 games. And that was against an undefeated when they play them, DC Dragons.
Yeah.
And they beat them. And guess who they played the following week? They played against Houston,
right,
who was also undefeated. Both the teams they beat undefeated and allowed very, very minimal, and they won in a convincingly fashion. It wasn't even close.
Right.
A total 9 points they gave up, right? And they're only allowing 40% on third down conversions, and that's how you can get success. You get off the field, right, and get the ball back to your offense. You're able to do good things for your team if you're able to do that. Look, and Delaney Nash and JL Browning are playing at an all-star level during the last couple of weeks. They look like this defense looks like the undefeated defense they had last season
For sure.
during the regular season when they went undefeated, when they were just straight world beaters. I felt like on defense,
Yeah.
and that's what they're looking like this season on defense.
And that's why it's surprising to see them also at 3-2, because they did go all the way through the regular season undefeated. And I think in those 2 losses, they figured out what was wrong, how they lost those 2 games. They've got it turned around. So let's talk about the offense. So how do they like their bacon, do you think?
I think they like it hot, crispy, and sizzling because Jay-Z Bacon has been hopping out of the frying pan and running like a madman. He has averaged 128 rushing yards over the last 2 weeks, and it has taken pressure off of Dunhill, who has now thrown, over the last 2 weeks, 4 touchdowns and only 1 interception. So now that they have found that balance at what they can do offensively, as far as run and pass, they could be trouble for our division, right? Everybody who's in our division, and Houston's got to start looking down because over the last 2 games, they've been so dominant. They're going to be trouble for us in the division and also the SFL if they keep playing at this type of level.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great to see how both of these teams perform throughout the rest of the regular season, starting with this game that kicks week 7 off for us. So let's talk about Gerald and Mike's picks of the week. So far, I'm still winning this one, Gerald. I'm at 10-7. You've fallen to 6-11 now. So listen, last week you picked Alamo City, Carolina, San Diego. I picked Florida, Carolina, Jacksonville. Once again, we both only picked 1 game right. So can you do? I don't know. I still got a winning record. That's all it really.
Can't do nothing. Like
So let's make some more picks this week and see if we get lucky. So we'll go back over the games that we selected, starting with tomorrow night, Denver at Indianapolis. Who do you got?
I got Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis has found something that is actually working for them, right? If they can get that run game going and not solely rely on the pass, I think they do it this week and pick up their 3rd win.
All right, well, I'm going to go with Denver. I know they're on the road. They're going up against a team that's shown a lot of promise, a lot of poise, like you said. But I've also seen Denver get some wins that people didn't think that they were going to get. They've been close in their games. I think they get the win over Indianapolis on the road this week. Motor City.
I hope not.
Yeah, well,
I need the wins
because you're trying to catch back up.
I need the wins. I need the wins.
Motor City at Portland. Talked about this game. Couple of struggling teams. What do you got?
Now, I know I was critical of them in the breakdown, right, in Portland, but I'm picking Portland. I just think that they are due. I think eventually they figure out something, to get themselves in a win. Maybe their defense steps up. Maybe their offense steps up, puts up a ton more points. But if they are going to win a game, this is the one I believe that they are going to win this season, and they beat Motor City, I think.
All right, well, I'm going to go once again with the road team. I'm going to Motor City. I think they're going to get the win over Portland. Portland just hasn't shown me quite enough yet to make me think that they can beat a team like Motor City that's been in games. They've lost 4 of them, but they haven't been destroyed. Just watching Portland's game last week against Houston, it was just, I don't know, that was just too much for me. I think Motor City will win it.
I do think Portland's on a different level than like Houston, but I think they're more on the level of Motor City, and I think they actually pull it out. I think that was eye-opening for them last week.
Vancouver at Fort Worth kicking off in just a couple of minutes. We don't usually get to pick against the game that's just about to start because we're usually calling it, but not this week. We're going to call the 9 o'clock game. So who do you got? Vancouver at Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, they're looking unstoppable the last 2 weeks, and I don't think they stop here.
Crispy, sizzly bacon is something you can never bet against. You can never go wrong.
Not even.
Fort Worth is going to get the win. I got to agree with you on that one. So I guess it's going to come down to Indy, Denver, and Portland, Motor City to see if you can even try to catch up.
I will.
This week.
Really important. I believe in you.
That's all we got here from the Matt Wilson pregame show for Week 7. I'm Mike Dykes. He's Gerald Smith. Stay with us. Kickoff of Week 7 is just minutes away. Don't go anywhere.
Hello everybody, welcome to today's matchup between the Fort Worth Toros and the Vancouver Legion. We're here live on SFL Action today, live on YouTube, here at the Stockyard Stadium of Fort Worth in Fort Worth, Texas. I am your play-by-play commentator tonight, and on the side of me is my good buddy, John Warren. John, please sir, give me your take on this afternoon's matchup. I haven't called one of these in a while. What's your take, buddy? And it's also glad to be with you in the booth.
Hey, same to you, Demond. These are two, I think, pretty evenly matched teams. They both have pretty stout defenses, some inconsistencies, but really the difference maker, I look at Marcus Dunhill and the way that he has operated this offense. It's very efficient. They have a lot of first downs. Their third down efficiency is very high. Vancouver's really got to get off the field on defense to have a chance in this game. Fort Worth not used to losing. They went undefeated in the regular season last year. They're 3-2. I think they've got something to prove today.
This matchup goes a total of 5 meetings, and it looks like the home team has won every meeting between these two teams.
Yes, indeed.
So it looks like 3 wins for Vancouver, 2 for Fort Worth. The ball is on the tee. And booted. We got action here from the Stockyards. And that's going to be kicked deep into the end zone. And that's going to be a kneel down there. And let's go through the offense for the Vancouver Legion. We have quarterback Christian Brown. There's a gang load of halfbacks here. Robert Redford, Sudo Nakai are your running backs. And then Sawyer Stern and Medio Pravado is the fullbacks. Nick Lockett, Chris Sunsiri, Brett Killian, Kendra Wells, and Zara Luna are your wide receivers. We'll get to the tight ends and the offensive lineman here shortly. Here's Brown on a 7. Looked like 9-step drive. That pass almost intercepted. Number 10 has it down the sideline, and it's Nick Lockett. A big game. Wow. What a play.
Right off the bat, yeah. I mean, Lockett just kind of got behind this defender. Fort Worth a little too aggressive on that attempt, so it sprung him up the right sideline here. Yeah, that was Adam Leach he tried to jump the route, couldn't do it. Lockett with a huge catch to start off this drive.
That is a great way to start the first play of the game. 37-yard pickup for Vancouver at the 43-yard line of Fort Worth, who is in a 4-3 base defense. Handoff here to the halfback. Nowhere to go. Stop right at the line of scrimmage. I couldn't see who was there on the carry. It looks like Robert Redford. Second and 10 here for Vancouver. Christian Brown underneath the center. One halfback in. Handoff to the halfback. And that was going to be Robert Redford there with a nice pickup. Picks up 8 yards there, John.
The ageless Robert Redford, who is just already having a pretty good season. He's gotten the lion's share of the load here. Sudo Nakai comes in to come in relief for Robert Redford. But Robert Redford is still the bell cow of this backfield.
Both of these backs are under 6 feet tall. Robert Redford at 5'10" and Sudo Nakai at 5'7". Here's Nakai. Nakai picks. Not going to give him the first down. 4th and 1. Remaining offensive players that we need to call: Cables McGill, Stephen McMichaels. Those are your 2 tight ends. Offensive lineman Mike Coverson, Rylan Cardell, Gregory Winnow, and Bruntner Graham. And that's going to be a retro challenge there. And let's take a look here at the retro challenge.
I thought this was the first in full speed. I thought this was a first down, so I was surprised they didn't give it to him.
Me too. And it looks like the ball did cross the line of game there.
Yeah.
So they do overturn. Vancouver will not be charged a timeout, and that was a look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at goretroid.com.
Yeah, for Fort Worth, I'll just talk about their linemen and linebackers real quick. We got Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. Gone, Luther Gone, John Nevels, E.K. Vincent, Sonny Sky, and J.L. Browning. We'll get to the secondary after this play.
4-3 base defense for Vancouver. Seattle comes out in. Here's a handoff here to Redford. Redford stopped and met right at the line of scrimmage, and on the tackle there was J.L. Brownie. J.L. Brownie is probably one of the best outside linebackers here in the SFL, and I just believe that the guy just does not get the love that he deserves for playing that position.
No, 8 seasons all with Fort Worth, and he's just been an outstanding player for each and every one of those.
There's a high overload here. It's a handout to Sudo Nakai. Kai goes down. Looks like he picked up 1 yard there before being tackled.
Tackled by Ben Stone. He's one of the free safeties. Delaney Nash is your strong safety. Tobias Gordon, Adam Leach, Remington James, and Aiden Davis are your corners for the Fort Worth Toros.
It's a great drive here by Vancouver. They've already taken off 3 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock here in this drive. Here's a 5-step drop here by Christian Brown. Brown gets a little pressure. That pass is incomplete. They're going to throw a flag. I can't see where in the vicinity the flag is. Is it at the line of scrimmage or in the back? But they're going to call pass interference, and I didn't see where that came from.
Well, they say it was against Remington James here. Let's take a look. I didn't. Okay. Yep. Definitely met him. Definitely met him in the middle of the field there. That was Brett Killian, intended receiver on that play. Just totally tackled essentially in the on that route there.
He held up progress on that route there and threw off the timing of Christian Brown.
Yeah.
Goal line scenario here for Vancouver. Sudo Nakai in the backfield. 3-step drop here by Brown. Brown goes to the end zone and passes intercepted by Aiden Davis. To the 10, Aiden to the 20, Brown to beat, spin move on him, crosses midfield. He's going to score a touchdown to the 30, the 23 men are trailing behind him. Robert Redford will not catch him, and Aiden Davis scores, I want to say, a 105-yard interception back to the house. And wow, Aiden Davis needed 3 interceptions coming into this game for 45, and that's going to be number 44 right there. Wow, what a play by Aiden Davis.
That is the longest play I have ever seen personally in Simulation Football League. That is an unbelievable play by Aiden Davis. That was not a great pass also by Christian Brown, but I cannot speak enough about the individual effort of Aiden Davis to grab that ball and take it the entire length of the field. That was unbelievable.
That surely was. I thought the pass was going to be deflected, and it went through the hand of the guy who tried to deflect the ball there. And Aiden Davis said, "Nope, I'll take it, and I'm going to take it back to the house." And the spin move that he put on Christian Brown. Wow.
I mean, it was a tall order to have Christian Brown wrap up Aiden Davis, but still, he put him in the spin cycle.
He surely did.
Yeah.
The quarterback just had nothing to do. It's going to be returned here for Vancouver. Across the 20-yard line, going to start the possession at the 27.
That was about a 3-minute drive, 76-yard drive, erased with a 105-yard pick six. That is unbelievable.
Yikes.
Now, Christian Brown's got to shake it off. I know that's huge. That's his 10th interception of the season. That's something he's going to want to clean up. He's in the lower third of the league in QBR, so he's not the most consistent quarterback in the league.
Split spread. They're going to throw a toss here to Redford. Redford almost breaks loose on that one. Picks up 4 yards. He's slow getting up.
I mean, and this offense has got to be gassed too, right? I mean, you just had a 3-minute drive. You just chased a player down 105 yards to try to stop a pick six. This Vancouver Legion offense has got to be a little bit slow, a little bit gassed, a little bit sluggish.
I think the question is, can they shake that interception off? Although it is early here in the ball game, here's a handoff here to, looks like Redford there on the carry.
Well, Fort Worth has just been so good at home too. So when you have a great drive like that, just erased with a score on the opposite end, it is demoralizing for sure. But Christian Brown's a veteran; he's resilient, so it may be okay.
High spread formation here. 5-step drop here by Brown. Brown goes to the progression, got his target, and it's going to be a completion to Brett Killian. What I was thinking, I think Brett Killian is second in all-time yards receiving and receptions, and maybe touchdown as well. I think he's right behind Boo Chisholm in touchdown.
Fourth in receptions, second in yards, second in touchdowns.
And maybe that's why DR Sim haven't retired yet, because Brett Killian is breathing down his neck.
Yeah, don't want to give it up.
Split pro, handoff here to, looks like Redford. Redford picks up 3. And I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, John, from Vancouver. They're moving the ball methodically down the field after that pick 6, not losing the mojo, not losing the confidence within themselves. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
Here's Brown on the 3-step drop. Got a man open in the flat. That pass is caught. Kendra Wells comes up with a reception. 1st and 10.
That was a nice strike. Kendra Wells has really had a really great year so far. About 18 yards per catch, and that was just a great route. Good delivery on time by Christian Brown.
Absolutely was. 1st and 10 here for Vancouver at their own 34-yard. I'm sorry, at Fort Worth 34-yard line. Oh, the running back was held up. Robert Redford right at the line of scrimmage, right behind one of the linemen there. And it's going to be 2nd and 11 for a 1-yard loss. And that tackle for loss is going to go to JL Brown. I keep wanting to say KL.
And Kendra Wells, by the way, is only now 33 yards away for 7,000 for her career. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. Gonna come out in the I-twins here. Pressure brought by the corners. Kendra Wells down to the 10-yard line.
That was a really nice job by Christian Brown to deliver that ball quickly. He had a lot of guys in his face, and that was a nice strike. Just a little bit behind the defender. That was E.K. Vinson, and some really good placement on that ball. Really good job by Brett Killian to get his body turned around to make that grab.
Yeah, EK, you're absolutely right. I did see E.K. Vinson coming around the edge there at the outside linebacker spot. And I'm sorry, inside backer spot. And here's another tackle for loss for this defense. Delaney Nash there on the tackle. Vancouver keeps getting knocked back, but they keep moving the ball forward as well.
Yeah, but they got to finish, you know. It's not over until they get to the end zone, you know.
From the 21, Christian Brown gets pressured up the middle. Brown going to the end zone and pass deflected away by Danny Nash. What an amazing play by the safety.
Delaney Nash almost said, "Hey, what if I go 108 yards for a pick 6?" But instead he knocked it down. They're going to be looking for pick 6s all over this place.
Look at you, John, trying to start something.
Listen,
whatever
this
you can do, I can do better, right?
This is a good defense. This is a hungry defense. They're not happy about being 3-2. That they want to kind of recapture the magic of last season, and I know they want to come out and have a big game. So,
bunch formation here for Vancouver. 3-2 dime defense for Fort Worth. Christian Brown got a man right down the middle of the field to the 6, and that is going to be to Kendra Wells again. She has been the receiver to go to on this drive.
Yeah, Kendra Wells and Brett Killian have really just been the 2 outstanding targets for Christian Brown so far this season. And Kendra Wells is just having an outstanding start to this game as well. Well on her way to getting to that 7,000-yard mark for her career. And again, with a 1st and goal for Vancouver.
Yeah. Both receptions to Kendra have been for big first downs. Now at the 5-yard line. Handoff here to Robert Redford. Redford nowhere to go. Tackled and brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, really, aside from that 1 8-yard carry toward the very beginning of the first drive, Robert Redford's been pretty well contained by this Toros defense.
2nd and goal here for Vancouver. 4-3 base defense, not in goal line situation yet there for the defense. And E.K. Vincent put his helmet right in the chest of Sudo Nakai and knocks him backwards.
These linebackers for Fort Worth are all over the place today. Browning's had a couple of huge hits. E.K. Vincent with that one. So these linebackers are hungry for tackles, and they're feasting right now.
This offense for Vancouver has been stingy with the ball here. 5-step drop here by Brown. Got Brett Killian right across the middle, but he does not go there. Intercepted Aiden Davis. Get out of here. That's number 2 on the day for Davis, and that gives him 45 interceptions for his career.
That is 2 picks in the end zone for Christian Brown. I mean, they're knocking on the door and they're getting turned back. And we're 7.5 minutes into this game, and Marcus Dunhill is about to take the field for the first time. What a showing by this Toros defense to keep Vancouver out of the end zone.
Wow, that was an amazing interception there for Aiden Davis.
Unreal. Look at that graphic. 21 plays to 0 for the offensive.
Here's Jay-Z Bacon stopped in the backfield for a 1-yard loss there, and Jay-Z needs 3 touchdowns to reach 50 for his career. Let's see if he can get that today. Offense here for the Fort Worth Toros. Quarterback, Marcus Dunhill that you did mention. Halfbacks, Charlie Baker, Jay-Z Bacon. Also, fullback Aaron Alexander. Wide receivers, there's 4 of them here on the roster. Cade Stevens, E.J. Minson, Stephen Hacker, Lily Nakai. Tight ends, Robert Garrett Jr. and James Jennings. We'll get to the rest of the offensive linemen here shortly. That's a pass there. Caught, looks like Cade Stevens on the reception, and yes, it was. I'm sorry, E.J. Minson. Offensive linemen, Emilio Panda, Gordo Enormi, and Frank Burks. 3rd and 2 here for the Toros. 4-3 defense here for Vancouver. Can the Toros pick up their first down of the day? Also, the quarterback sneak by Marcus Dunhill, and he picks up the first down. He has been doing that all season long, and has been catching teams off guard.
Yeah, sneaky, and it's such a quick snap, and it's a quick play, such a snap decision, and Marcus Dunhill ran it expertly.
Come out in a Twins base. Offensive set here. Weak eye Twins, that is. Jay-Z Bacon. Bacon's going to pick up 2. 2nd and 9. Looks like they gave him 3 on the carry.
Let's talk about this Legion defense real quick. We got Lindsey Timpson, Bobo Caudill, Achilles Papatonis. He's not gotten going with the sacks yet. Gerald Giudicessi, Michael Rury, Josh Farnsey, DJ Woods, Marquise Reed are your 3 linebackers. We'll get to the secondary in a moment.
Here's Marcus Dunhill. Got him in right at the first down marker. Going to call him short. And it's Minson again.
Minson again stopped by the secondary. Your corners are Emmanuel Blackman, Michael Lister, Zach Lay, Will Stearns. Safeties, Mark Lopez, Drew Hamilton, and J.J. Winfield.
This is Minson's first year with the Fort Worth Toros, coming over from the Florida Storm. And Minson was he's also a one-time All-Star back in season 14. Here's Robert Garrett Jr. in motion, comes off the line and into the slot at the top of the field. Bacon picks up the first down and picks up more. Almost right at midfield, looks like down to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, you look at the individual contributions of players like Jay-Z Bacon, like Stephen Hacker, and also E.J. Minson. Like you said, he came into the game today with over 500 yards receiving. He's well on his way to increasing that mark. He's just had an outstanding season.
And that's going to end it for the first quarter there. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Live here on YouTube Network. SFL YouTube Network, that is. Beautiful sunny day here in Fort Worth. Toros have the ball right at the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line. Looks like we're going to get motion here. Minson goes in motion. And Zach Lay does jump out on Minson. Handoff here to Bacon up the middle. Oh, nice juke there by Bacon. Bacon picks up 6. Nice hard run there by the halfback.
Yeah, it was a hard run. He was able to hit that hole because it was so open. It was just a really nice job by this Toros offensive line to break that open on the right side, and was not able to bring him down until he got to that second level, the linebacker.
In the backfield is Charlie Baker now. And they have been in this twin set all game long. There's Robert Garrett Jr. right across the middle of the field. Nice, quick slant there to get the big tight end involved. And when they do get Robert Garrett Jr. involved in their offense, this offense is hard to stop.
Yeah, he's really great in the red zone, obviously, but he's so good at, the line of game. Just any sort of either first down or goal line situation. Robert Garrett Jr. is a tough receiver who loves to live in the middle.
Here's another handoff here to Bacon. Bacon got open field down on below. He picks up 6.
Great play call. Vancouver was loaded on the far side of the field. Dunhill tosses it to Jay-Z Bacon on the near side, had a lot of room. And Vancouver's lucky they were able to pursue that ball as well as they did, bring him down after about 6 yards.
Jay-Z Bacon coming into nice matchup, number 6 on the rushing list at 355. Here's another handoff here to Baker. Baker picks up the first down and more. Right crosses the 20. Tackled and brought down by Mark Lopez.
Charlie Baker and Jay-Z Bacon have both been on the Toros for 5 seasons, and they're just a really nice tandem. Baker able to pick up what Jay-Z Bacon could not on that last one, and even more, setting up a nice 1st and 10 inside the red zone.
Another twins I set here for this offense. They've basically been in twins the entire drive. Here's Bacon again, and Mark Lopez with another tackle. Down to the 14-yard line.
Honestly, very similar drives, actually, between Fort Worth and Vancouver in terms of kind of balance and spreading the ball out and just kind of getting the run game going. The difference so far is that Fort Worth has points on the board. Of course, those came on the defensive sides. We'll see if they can finish the job here on offense.
Vancouver does show blitz. Bacon picks up the first down. It is Baker, and he's down to the 2-yard line there with that run.
Yeah, Vancouver actually looks like they are expecting Marcus Dunhill to come out and pass the ball a little bit more to his 2 most prolific targets, E.J. Minson and Stephen Hacker, but really they've just decided to hand the ball off a lot. Not only to Jay-Z Bacon, but also Charlie Baker. They've gotten him involved really early.
Yeah, Fort Worth must have saw something in the scouting report that included they can run the ball versus this Vancouver defense, and there's a touchdown by Jay-Z Bacon for the first time today. Cuts that deficit short of what he needs for 45, and he just crosses Hollywood Boulevard.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the game that these two defenses are pretty evenly matched. They're only giving up about 15 yards difference between them. But I tell you what, Fort Worth looked really, really good on offense just there. And that drive was really solid. Set up by that interception, the second one in the end zone by Aiden Davis. Fort Worth should be excited about this game so far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, quarterback was 3 for 3 on the drive for 26 yards. And Bacon alone, 7 attempts for 28 yards. But, I'm sorry, not Baker, Bacon. 7 attempts for 28. And Baker, 2 for 23. He's averaging 11.5 yards a carry. So that's something that Vancouver is going to have to tighten up there. That you and I did mention in pregame about these two defenses.
I mean, Damon, we're 2.5 minutes into this second quarter, and we've only seen 3 drives. These have been 3 unbelievably long drives in this game.
They sure have. There's been a lot of running going on here on these drives with both teams. And they're going to be called clipping, and that's going to come back. And they're going to start the ball brutal at their own 13-yard line, Vancouver, that is.
Brutal. Just mistakes. Mm-hmm. They're getting a little frustrated. That was Lindsey Timpson.
Ooh, right, pushing it back there.
Yeah, they're getting frustrated. They can't do that. They got to keep their cool. They're down 14. I get it. They should be frustrated, right? 2 straight drives that end with picks in the end zone. It is frustrating, but they've got to chill out, keep to what works, and just don't turn the ball over anymore.
There's a handoff here to Redford. Redford picks up 5. Nice hard run there by Robert Redford, right up the middle. And Vancouver is right at 90% on third down, 4 for 5. And that was something else that you and I discussed during pregame about the third down efficiency between these two teams. And I think that's what it's going to take. Whoever can win third down and time of possession, win this ball game. Here is Pseudo Nakai. Nakai picks up 2 before being tackled and brought down by Ben Stone.
I mean, normally I would totally agree with you. I mean, we were talking about it before the game and also at the beginning. But the difference so far has just been those 2 turnovers. I mean, it's like that's just a huge difference maker. And Christian Brown's got to take care of the ball, especially when it matters the most. You have these efficient drives, and they end that way.
Here is a nice dump off to Kendra Wells. She shakes a man out, puts her head down, gets the first down.
Well, they're going to need a lot of individual effort, right? I mean, this defense for the Toros looks like it came to play. Kendra Wells lost that first down by trying to gain the ground back, but then lowers her shoulder to get the first down back, and that was just an impressive play.
At least we know Kendra Wells came to play today.
Oh, she always comes to play. She's a great player.
Robert Redford goes in motion, makes this a 3 wide receiver set now. And they get pressure on Brown. Brown with a pumping. Oh, he took the one to the chest. John Nevels, you should be arrested for that sack.
Oh, when I thought Christian Brown was pulling a rabbit out of his hat, he gets hit by a truck known by John Nevels. That was an unbelievable sack, 4-yard loss, but even more, just a demoralizing hit. I mean, that took the breath out of me.
I'm going to have to send a message to the commissioner. Ask, was that legal? Here's Christian Brown on a 5-step drive. That pass is almost intercepted by Browning. And 3rd and 14 here for Vancouver.
That's unfamiliar territory. They've been in 3rd and mid, 3rd and short. I think that's how they've been so efficient so far in this game. So this is a big test. 3rd and long, way down at their own end. They got to convert here.
They come out in quads formation here. 4-1 dime 5. For Fort Worth, Brett Killian goes in motion. I think Killian barely on it. I don't think he has a reception here tonight just yet. Here is a 5-step drop here by Brown. Brown gets pressured. Nice pickup block there. Oh, that pass was almost caught, but incomplete, intended for Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett had it in his hands, but Adam Leach was just an amazing pass breakup at the last second. Just a bang-bang play, and this secondary is really tightening up. Aiden Davis, obviously, with the flashy interceptions, but Adam Leach with a really nice pass deflection there.
I have to give Lockett an A for the effort because the ball was thrown behind him. He basically had to turn his body and twist around to try to make that catch. But Adam Leach was right there, and he was right on target. As soon as the ball hit his hands, he hit him and did not force a pass interference call there. Fort Worth will be starting over at their very own 38-yard line for their second drive of the day.
That was a nifty little return there by Lily Nakai. She hasn't really gotten that involved in the offense so far, but she'll get her opportunities. I'm sure of it, but she's playing a lot on special teams, and that was a nice little return.
Marcus Dunhill has been looking pretty smooth this game. Bacon shakes off a tackle. Bacon tackled and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. I haven't seen much pressure on Dunhill.
No, the Vancouver defense has been playing a little bit off, a little bit soft. They want to see what the offense is doing, but honestly, Toros have had the scouted. They've called the right plays most of the time, and it's been tough for Vancouver.
There's Dunhill with a pass to Hacker, Stephen Hacker. Nice hard run there, picks up the first down. And I have to mention here that Lily Nakai is the wife of Pseudo Nakai. She was on Vancouver last year, I believe, and she decided to take her talents elsewhere to Texas. And yeah. Now take it back. She was with the Mavericks previously. I thought she was. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Pseudo and Lily both played with the Mavericks last season. That's why I got twisted up there. Yeah. So she said, I'm not going to play with you Pseudo, I'm going to go and take my talents elsewhere. I would like a house divided.
That they both got tired at the same time of the perfect San Diego weather, I guess.
Here's Bacon with a 3-yard carry there on 1st and 10.
Pseudo likes it a bit colder. Lely likes it a bit hotter. So they figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet you, I would guarantee that they have a sleep number bed as well.
Bought one from Dak.
Don't be surprised. Here is Marcus Dunhill underneath the center. Dunhill's going to hand off here to Baker. Ooh. Baker stopped in his tracks right at the line of scrimmage by DJ Woods. Hey, we're seeing some hitting from both of these teams in this ball game.
They're both teeing off. DJ Woods leads the Vancouver Legion in tackles with 42 coming into this game. That was, I believe, his 43rd. And, oh, man, it was a nice one.
3rd and 7 here for Fort Worth. They're going to play action. I thought it was a handoff. Dunhill's going to take off. Picks up the first heel. Dunhill's holding the ball like a loaf of bread. Tackled and brought down at the 30. Wow, what a run. And Dunhill is down.
Oh, no.
And, folks, this is what happened, kids who are watching.
Man.
When you do not get down and slide, you put yourself in jeopardy as a quarterback of getting injured. And we all hate to see Marcus Dunhill leave the game.
That was tough. Yeah, that was such an outstanding run. He tried to get a little bit extra at the end with that spin move. Paid the price, and we hope he can come back into the game soon. But yeah, it's gonna be Dave Ragone or Ragoni. Let's say Ragone.
I think I like Ragone.
All right, let's do Ragone.
Yeah, sounds a little Italian, right? Here's Bacon, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fort Worth just put the ball in the hands of Bacon and Baker. That sounds like an attorney law firm, right?
Bacon and Baker, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to do all three, it's Alexander, Baker, or Bacon. So it's got A, B, and B.
I think we're giving these guys some business pitch here. There's a pass by the backup QB intended for Stephen Hacker. That was incomplete. And I want to say that's the first incompletion of the game for Fort Worth.
Yeah, Stephen Hacker is an amazing wide receiver, but that was just way too far behind him. Obviously, Marcus Dunhill takes the most reps with his first team, so it's going to take a little while to get back into rhythm for the rest of this offense.
Come on in now. Single back trips here. 3rd and 9. Play action. Ragoon. Overthrown. Intended for Stephen Baker. 4th and 9. That's going to force Fort Worth to bring out the field goal unit.
Amelia Rose should come in here. She's 4 for 5 on the season. And it's 46-yard attempt. It looks like to me that the wind is blowing a little bit on one of those kickoffs. So we'll see how she handles this.
Ball is placed. Oh, that ball went out wide. I thought it was going to go wide left, and she makes that one. That gives Amelia Rose field goal number 94 of her career. She needs one more for 95 of her career.
Amelia Rose is solid, and that's good news for Fort Worth, right? Marcus Dunhill goes down. They kind of stall out, but they're already in field goal range. They put another 3, make it a 3-score game. This defense is coming into play for the Toros, so, Vancouver's got a big mountain to climb here in the rest of this game.
Fort Worth coming off a 2-game win streak. Vancouver coming off a 1-game win streak last week. And they're going to start is this their 4th? I think this is their 4th drive of the game at the 21.
Damon, I like 1-game win streak. I'm going to start using that.
If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at Simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career or just meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. I-Twins here for Vancouver. That pass is deflected away. Looks like E.K. Vincent got his hands on it, and it was Vincent.
Yeah, but Christian Brown, he actually had a few options there on the far side of the field. He needed to take a breath, but the pressure from Fort Worth was
Yeah.
a lot for him to handle all at once, and delivered it a little bit inaccurately. He was knocked down just past the line.
Looking at Christian Brown's last 10 attempts, 3 straight incompletions. Brett Killian goes in motion. 9 seconds left on the play clock. Brown gets pressure again, goes deep. That pass is caught incomplete for a first down. And it's Brett Killian with his 3rd reception of the night.
And it was a remarkable catch, too. I think he grabbed this with one hand. Yeah, he did. Brought it into his body before he gets absolutely shellacked
Well, if you
by
like, friends,
Ben Stone.
we can go ahead and name that the nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23. And you're right, that was an amazing catch because he had to brace himself for the hit afterwards. Nice catch there down to, Brett Killian gets past Adam Leach down to the 30. Now they're in enemy territory. They've been on this side of the field before. Can they punch it in this time?
I think they smell blood a little bit. You know, no one wants a player on the other side of the ball to go down, but Dunhill goes down on the Fort Worth Toros side. Maybe Vancouver feeling like, okay, we got to get aggressive here and score some points for the half. Brett Killian's been outstanding on this drive. 2 huge catches, including that one.
That's the 2-minute warning there. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on the SFL YouTube network. Looking at Brett Killian's stats there, 4 receptions for 62 yards. Not a bad day to start at the office here in the second quarter. Looks like we have twins to the top of the field there. Fullback goes in motion. Stern, that is. Handoff here to Robert Redford. Redford drops the shoulder and drags Delaney Nash forward to the first down marker.
Yeah, and this is one of those examples of actually the pass setting up the run a little bit. I think Fort Worth, understanding that Brett Killian starting to carve him up a little bit, they say, okay, we'll back off. We'll not stack the box. Robert Redford, great blocking, set him free, gets the first down, lowers his shoulder.
That run and tackle animation reminds me back in 2016 NFL preseason, Dallas versus Seattle, and when Ezekiel Elliott basically trucked and spin off of number 31 for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, I remember that.
Cam, what's his last name? Can't remember.
Cam Chancellor?
Cam Chancellor. Yeah, that's exactly what that animation reminded me of.
Oh, yeah.
2nd and 9 here for Vancouver. At the 19, they're in red zone now. Twins to the top. They're going to go single back, pair slot. They're going to go motion here. Kendra Wells from the top of the screen down to the bottom. Adam Leach jumps out on it, but he's paying almost 12 yards off the line to the end zone. Intended. Kendra Wells incomplete. 3rd and 9.
Holding my breath every single time Christian Brown throws toward the end zone now. I mean, it's terrible, but it's just he's given the ball up twice in this area, and that was almost an amazing play by Kendra Wells, but just a tough assignment for her to come away with that one.
4 wide receivers set here in quads, 3-2 dime formation. Kendra Wells goes in motion. J.L. Browning steps up like he's going to come and bring pressure. And Browning does come, picks up by the left tackle. Pass almost intercepted again. This time, Adam Leach gets his paws on it, and he does the no-fly zone animation there. And Brett Killian just can't believe that Vancouver can get down into the red zone, but cannot get anywhere near that end zone.
Let's see, the 36-yard attempt, this is very makeable by chance to win. He's a 90% field goal kicker on the season. But the wind looks like it's swirling a bit, so we'll see.
Kick is up, and it's good.
Adam Leach wishes he could have that back. He had that huge pass breakup on the last defensive drive for Fort Worth and almost had a pick on this one again in the red zone. But instead it was just a deflection. Vancouver able to put 3 on the board before the end of the half. And even though it's not 7, they got to feel good about getting some points on the board.
And you're absolutely right. But I also want to let the fans out there know, liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. Can you believe that? 400 football events a year? There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of the SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. The SFL is one of the biggest esport simulation leagues that is out there. And if I'm not mistaken, the SFL is the first esport league that has been on YouTube and Twitch for many years. I want to say going back to 2013. Here is Bacon. Bacon picks up 1 yard there on the carry. Marquise Reed on the tackle.
Fort Worth looks like they're content to just go into the half. They get the ball at the beginning of the second half, so they may be thinking, okay, we'll get the ball right back again. We can start a new drive and hopefully get Marcus Dunhill back out there.
Here's a pitch here to Bacon. Bacon picks up another 2 yards. 3 on that carry there. Fontenot helps him up. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fort Worth just basically let the clock run out here, don't even run a play, go into half. As you just mentioned, they get the ball back. Don't need to force anything. Whoa, and they drop back to pass. Caught everyone off guard, and that pass is caught and complete. To Lili Nakai, who comes away with a reception right before the end of the half.
I guess they just wanted Lili Nakai to get her 3rd catch of the season.
And hey everyone, you're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on the SFL YouTube network. These are your halftime stats and results from the first half. John, what have we seen here so far? A pick 6 from Fort Worth and another pick, interception inside of the red zone, basically using it as another defender there, should we say. And Vancouver is putting together some great drives here, but they just can't get in the end zone, John.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, we've seen 2 really efficient offenses. I mean, these are 2 teams with outstanding 3rd down conversion percentages, with really consistent first downs, balance across the board. The difference is that Christian Brown has thrown those 2 picks and been a little bit careless with the ball, one going back for a touchdown. Aiden Davis is, the player we got to be looking at as player of the game so far with those 2 picks, one for that 105-yard return for a touchdown. Hopefully Marcus Dunhill can get back out there for the Toros. That adds an interesting wrinkle to the second half. Fort Worth gets the ball first. We'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, but I agree with you about Aiden Davis being the MVP or player of the game of the first half in this ball game with that pick 6 and the other interception he got, or the second interception, should we say, he got in the end zone, not allowing Vancouver to score, and that was on 2 back-to-back possessions. We have a game update. We're going to send it back to SFL headquarters in Cameron Irvine. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Damon. Mexico City hosting Los Angeles today. Jordan Sipe into the end zone finds Jason Bartley for the touchdown. Makes it 7-3. Mexico City. We've got an injury report coming up here on Marcus Dunhill as we get back to your game, Damon.
Marcus Dunhill is questionable with a broken finger. Now, here's the question. Is it the index finger? Because if it's the index finger, if I'm not mistaken, that is the last finger to leave the ball when you're throwing it, right?
Yeah, we don't even know if it's the left or right hand either. So, it'd be nice to know how bad that injury is. But so far, Ragone is still in the game for the Toros.
Here's Stephen Baker in motion. Wait, am I saying this right? Is Robert Garrett Jr. at fullback? And he does get a nice block there. And Bacon picks up 3.
Well, we've seen a lot of really interesting formations so far this season. Wide receivers carrying the ball, Tight ends lining up in the backfield. It's been a nice season for seeing kind of some wacky looks, and you gotta experiment when Marcus Dunhill's not in the game.
Here's Robert Garrett Jr. in motion now. Going down to the bottom of the screen. Ragoon with the 3-step drop. Gets pressure. That pass is caught to Minson. Across the middle of the field. Down to the 46, 47-yard line.
That was a great job by Fort Worth's line to pick up that rush. But also big props to Ragoon for hanging in there and finding Minson in stride, able to get that first down after that second effort. So nice job converting and getting Ragoon in this offense going without Marcus Dunhill.
Jacob Clear informing us that Marcus Dunhill should pop it back in. Get back in the game, like Kobe Bryant.
I mean, Ronnie Lott had half his finger amputated to get back in the game. So
sure did.
Not that I'm condoning it, but you got to do what you got to do.
Talk about warriors, man. Warriors. Here's Ragoon on a handoff here to Baker on a draw play. Baker's going to be 3-yard shot of the first down. He's slow getting up. Third and 3 here for Ragoon. Backup quarterback Marcus Dunhill injured in the second half on the scramble. Ragoon not going to pick up the first down. Tackled and brought down by Drew Hamilton. Nice first down saving tackle there. Now, Fort Worth is across midfield. Will they go for it? And they are going for it as I question the heart of the offensive coordinator.
Big play.
Head coach. Aaron Alexander goes in motion into the slot now. Ragoon, quarterback sneak, picks up the first down, and he slides after seeing Dunhill gets injured by not sliding. Ragoon said, I'm going to play it safe.
Gutsy. We've seen that play called for Marcus Dunhill a lot so far this season. They call it for Ragoon. He executes it perfectly, hits that hole on the right side of the center. That was a perfectly executed play, and they convert on that 4th and inches.
Roll out. Here by Ragoon. Passes caught to the Cowboy, Robert Garrett Jr. He's going the wrong way. Turns it back to field. Jumps and hurdles over, man. You got to be crazy. Oh, what a play by the tight end. Robert Garrett Jr. down to the 10-yard line. An outstanding athletic play with the hurdle.
That was a circus play. Comes back to the ball, gets knocked back, has to turn back upfield, hurdles over a man, and only Hamilton able to chase him down to save the touchdown. What an incredible individual effort from Robert Garrett Jr., who's just lining up everywhere and doing everything for the Toros on this drive.
Robert Garrett Jr., known as the Cowboy, picks up the first down. 1st and 10 here for Fort Worth. They're going to hand it off here to Bacon. Bacon stopped and met right in the backfield for a tackle for loss. You got to give credit to J.L. Brown. Not J.L. Brown. I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong roster. That's DJ Woods.
Yeah, DJ Woods just living in the backfield. He leads this team in tackles for loss. He racks up another one on that tackle of Jay-Z Bacon.
Going nice spread formation here. Ragoon on a rollout. Nice block there by Bacon in the end zone. Minson just couldn't grab it.
That was actually a really, really, really well put together play for the Toros. Minson I can't really tell what he was doing there. I think he was trying to shield the defender away from that ball, and doing so contorted a little bit too much, made it a little bit too hard on himself to bring that in. But you're right, Jay-Z Bacon picked up a great block there, setting up Ragoon with enough time to do that. Just couldn't execute at the end.
3rd and 11. Can Vancouver hold up here for a field goal? Pass across the middle of the field. One-handed grab by Stephen Hack. I take that back. That is going to be Retroid, best hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid in your Retroid handheld in your hands and play the game with Steven Hacker and this Fort Worth Toros offense.
I mean, Hacker putting the iron claw on this ball. You want to talk about the Dallas Sportatorium, not just a stone's throw from the stockyards here. He just grabbed that with one hand, brought it into his chest. Steven Hacker, incredible touchdown. That's his 6th of the season, and he may run away with the receiving touchdown lead after this week is done with.
I bet you any kind of money that Dave Ragoon is trending on Twitter/X right now from the fans of the Fort Worth Toros. Anytime a backup quarterback can come into a game and provide the team with a touchdown pass, the fans goes crazy. Put this guy in. Make him the starter. But guess what? There is a veteran by the name of Marcus Dunhill who was an MVP from season 14. I bet he has something to say about that.
Listen, there's no QB controversy here, I don't think. But it's amazing that Ragone can come into the game, and they have not really changed the play calling for him. They're still running a lot of the same plays that we see called from Marcus Dunhill, and Ragone executed. He had a lot of really nice looks on that drive. Obviously, some great individual effort from Hacker, Jay-Z Bacon, and Robert Garrett Jr., but Ragone hanging in there. And then really impressive drive by the Toros.
Team stats there. 145 passing yards by Vancouver, yet they trail 99 for Fort Worth. Handoff hits Robert Redford. Redford is tackled in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
Well, Vancouver's looking for answers because they had 2 great drives, ended in those interceptions, but they were efficient. And now they're starting to stall out a little bit early, getting to 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations, and that's not where they want to be against this Toros defense.
Another handoff here for Vancouver. Sudo Nakai with a nice spin move. And he picks up 8.
Yeah, Sudo Nakai, smaller in stature than Robert Redford, but can still pack a punch. But you saw his agility there in space.
3rd and 4. Handoff once more here by this Vancouver offense, and nowhere to go. Browning with a nice tackle right at the line of scrimmage on Robert Redford. Speaking of this Fort Worth defense, they come into tonight's matchup only giving up 9 points out of their last 2 games. Margin of victory, 28 points over Houston, 34-6. Margin of victory, 28-3 over the DC Dragons. And those are 2 really great teams here in the SFL. And Fort Worth will start the next drive right at their own 38-yard line. Fort Worth was sitting at 1-2 heading into week 4. And that victory over Houston basically boosts the momentum and the morale of this ball club.
Yeah, and Fort Worth's 2 losses come against an Alamo City artillery team that I think is better than their 2-4 record. It's also a division rival. And also the defending champs, the 5-0 Florida Storm. So those 2 losses, while they hurt, are against, I think, 2 pretty good teams.
You're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. Here's Ragoon again. Have not seen signs of Marcus Dunhill as of yet. Dumps it off to Bacon. Bacon breaks off 1 tackle and almost breaks off another before being tackled and brought down after picking up 8 on that dump-off reception in the flats.
You know, something I think is interesting about these 2 offenses is that Vancouver's offense looks trepidatious. They look hesitant. They look like I would expect Fort Worth's offense to look after Dunhill goes down, but instead it's been the opposite.
Here's Ragoon. Ragoon fumble. He took a shot, and it's going to be the turnover. This could be what Vancouver needed right there, right at midfield, and the fans are not liking what they just saw. You got to give Ragoon the credit. He did slide, but he took a shot going down.
And I'm going to be really interested to see if they call a challenge on this one, because his knee might have been down before that ball came out, but maybe not. And if they don't, if this stands, then Vancouver gets this in midfield. It might be the injection they needed to get going here and get more aggressive, get more assertive, change the script.
Vancouver at midfield, down by 21 points. 5-step drop here by Christian Brown. Brown lets it fly right across the middle of the field, and that's going to be to Brett Killian.
Well, now, Damon, there's no QB controversy, right? I mean, we see why Dunhill is such a special player. He protects the ball a little bit more. But obviously we're going still having a pretty good day, but that was not the best play that he's had.
Looking at the numbers there for Christian Brown. Handoff here to the fullback. Stern with a nice stiff form. Stern across the 30. Adam Leach downs and tackles him right at the 22.
There you go. Vancouver's starting to mix up their play calling here to great effect. Sawyer Stern
that
hits
was
the out.
that
was Bravado. Yeah, absolutely. Mateo Bravado here with an outstanding stiff arm. He is just a red zone threat. He's got those 3 touchdowns on the season so far, but really impressive out in space there. He is the second leading rusher on this team in terms of average, just behind Sudo Nakai. So he averages over 4 yards a carry.
Speaking of Sudo Nakai, he's in the ball game. Standing right at the 29-yard line. Handoff here to Nakai. Nakai, the little fella, crosses the 20-yard line, back in red zone territory at the 18. Second and 6.
You can see that burst, though. I mean, this is what is so impressive about Vancouver's backfield. Robert Redford is such a balanced player. Bravado, we just saw the strength. And Sudo Nakai has that first step burst that is just unmistakable.
Here to the big guy, Robert Redford. Redford drops the shoulder, crosses the 15. 3rd and 2 here now for Vancouver.
Well within field goal range, too, but they really need to start putting touchdowns on the board. Down by 21, third quarter, dripping away inside the 15. They've got to score a touchdown on this drive.
Yeah, just right under 3 minutes left here in the third. Knocking on the door of the fourth quarter. Motion. McGill down to the bottom of the field. Puts his hand in the dirt. Looks like 4-4 Bear defense for the defense. Delaney Nash comes up big with a tackle on Bravado in the backfield.
Yeah, it looks like they kind of had the same philosophy to put Bravado there on the far side, to have him swing out. Fort Worth really had it scouted, and they're going to force a field goal attempt here.
This defense has been outstanding for the past 2.5 games. And that kick is good. Upcoming league announcements. Stay tuned for SFL announcements on enhancements and new features coming to the progression system, plus the location and details of the 2024 convention. The SFL is committed to improving the league and its convention each season and the next level of play off the field. And the pool and on the portal is coming soon.
Nice kick return here from Charlie Baker, setting Fort Worth up with pretty decent field position at their own 32.
At the 32-yard line, you're absolutely right. That is outstanding field position there.
And we're going still in the game. So Dunhill must not be feeling good about his finger, and they're going to keep him out. I don't know if they're going to keep him out the whole game, but we're going still in.
Here is Bacon. Bacon with a spin move there. Bacon brought down after picking up 3 yards there. There was a time early in the game where Vancouver were 4 of 5 on third down. We're going back to the first quarter. They were 4 and 5 on third down. Since then, they're 5 and 10 on third down efficiency. As we mentioned earlier in the game, that third down is going to be big in this game. Fort Worth, 4 of 7. Here's Baker. Baker tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Brought down by a host of Vancouver Legion. They're going to give credit on the tackle to Marquise Reed.
Yeah, Marquise Reed sets up a 3rd and long for Fort Worth with that tackle. He's had 7 tackles today, at least credited. So he's been busy.
3rd and 8 here for Ragoon. He takes a 3-step drive, gets pressure up the middle. That pass is caught. And it's Lily Nakai with her 2nd reception of the night. Just short of the first down.
Good stop by Lister, though, to wrap her up before she get the first down. So we're going to have to punt the ball. I think this is maybe only our 2nd punt of the game. Maybe it's our 1st. We haven't had many punts. We've had long drives, not a lot of punts.
Yeah, you're right. We've been seeing long drives, field goals, interceptions inside the red zone. And Vancouver will start right at the 19-yard line.
Good coverage there. Downfield by the special teamer for Fort Worth. That was Remington James, actually.
Yeah. Vancouver has been putting together some great drives. The thing is, when they get in the red zone, the team is just stalling out. I'm not sure why that is to be. And you would think that they can have the same success in the red zone that they're having between the 20s. Here's Christian Brown. Oh, that pass is incomplete, intended for Kendra Wells. We haven't heard from Kendra, I want to say, since the third quarter. She's about 11 yards shy of 7,000 for her career.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Christian Brown's decision-making is going to get scrutinized after this game, especially in the red zone, about to score. But Fort Worth's defense, you've talked about it all game, about how good they've been the past few games. I think not enough has been said about the job that they've been doing, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, play action here by Christian Brown. Brown's aside to run. There's a flag on the play before Brown been taken down for the second time tonight. I'm going to call holding. Is it defensive holding, or it looks like it is defensive holding on 52, Sonny Syke. Oh, my. He just tackled Sudanukai.
Yeah, Sunny Sky, that was, not her finest hour. I don't know what she expected there. That was just a mistake, a mental mistake. Bails Vancouver out, and that's a big penalty. They've had a couple of big penalties to save Vancouver drives, the Toros have, so discipline issues.
Yeah, and another handout here by Robert Redford. He goes nowhere. And
with as long as these drives have been, Vancouver's got to have some urgency here at the beginning of the fourth.
Hey, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Put your 4s, your 12s, your 68s, and 86 in the chat for our lost members. You're watching Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Let's take it to Chris Curtis for our rights.
A transmission or account of the game. Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Between this matchup between the Fort Worth Toros and the Vancouver Legion, I'm your play-by-play commentator, Damon Seaman. Alongside me is John Warren here up in the booth. We have Andrew Gibson and Jacob Clear on stats. Thank you guys so much for your contribution. Here's Robert Redford, probably one of his best runs of the night. Picks up 7 there, 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that was a good run, and they've got some ground to make up here. 18-point game on the road in Fort Worth. Tough place to play. And this is where Christian Brown's got to shine.
3rd and 3. Here for Brown and the Legion. Kendra Wells goes in motion to the top of the field. 9:30 left on the game clock. Handoff here to Sudanukai. Nakai picks up the first down. Brought down by Delaney Nash and Ben Stone.
Yeah, Vancouver's run game has not been able to get to that second level, but they've had some nice plays bursting through to the linebacker level, getting enough for first down. Sudanukai, again, can't talk enough about that first step burst. He's averaging 6 yards a carry so far this season.
Vancouver down by 18. John, give me your take on this team still running the ball heavy as they are, like being down by 18.
Yeah, to me, this smacks of them assuming that they'll be able to stop Fort Worth without Marcus Dunhill. They'll be able to cause either turnovers or get the ball back on punts like we've seen the past couple times. It seems like they're assuming that this is going to happen. I would have more urgency, but they want to stick to their game plan until, it's maybe a couple more minutes left, down in the game. So it's an interesting call, especially when you get to these 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7s. It's a risky strategy.
I would absolutely agree with you that it is a risky strategy because they're not only are they moving not moving the ball down the field fast, but they're also wasting a lot of time on the clock by running the game because the clock does not stop. There's pressure. Oh, Nelly. Down goes Christian Brown for the third time this afternoon. That is another sack by this defense. Jerry DeGon. I think there's an arrest, a warrant out for your arrest, buddy.
Jerry DeGon with the biggest sack of the game, with a huge loss of time, of yards. Vancouver's going to have to kick this away to Fort Worth, who's going to be running the ball. That's just a disaster of a play. You can't give that up at this point in the game.
And the crazy thing about it is that he was untouched. It was a blitz from the weak side, and he was untouched. The right tackle did not get a hand on him. It's going to be a clippings. And
another penalty against the Toros. So Toros kind of shooting themselves in the foot here with some penalties, but they're still in the driver's seat. 18-point game. They just had a huge defensive stop. You're right. Jerry DeGon coming in untouched on the weak side. That's just a totally unacceptable lapse for the Vancouver Legion at this point in the game. And now we're going in still for Marcus Dunhill, but we're going to see a lot of Jay-Z Bacon and Charlie Baker on this drive.
Yeah, Dunhill is probably just going to play it safe. Probably there's no reason to bring him in due to the ball club is winning, right?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and rest that finger up, you know.
No point in exacerbating the injury for sure.
Exactly. We'll get an X-ray on Monday morning, see what it looks like, how much further, need to be done to it or so. There's no need to rush him back. Ragoon is doing a great job, and also the backs are really holding things up for this offense so far. 3rd and 11. So Fort Worth is basically starting to play conservative here now, basically just running the clock out. If they get a first down here, this would be good for this offense because they could keep the ball in their possession and continue to run this clock down. But if not, this gives Vancouver an opportunity to make something happen very, very quick if they can. Here is Ragoon, gets pressured. That pass is incomplete. I thought Minson grabbed that outstanding defensive play there on the coverage, Emmanuel Blackman. And we have E.J. Minson down now. That's 2 players down for Fort Worth.
Yeah, and he took a shot, too. We might take another look at it. But, yeah, Minson not able to bring that in. And it's because he got popped right at the point of the catch. And hopefully he's okay. Fort Worth dealing with injuries, they still they're still in the catbird seat, right? I mean, they're still doing a great job, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but they're going to punt it away. That injury stops the clock, gives Vancouver a little bit more time. They're going to get great field position here is Vancouver.
It's a low snap there.
Not a great punt either.
Yeah, right at the 48-yard line is where Vancouver. Then we have another man down.
Injury. Wow. It's backup strong safety Corey Bird for Fort Worth. That is, I mean, they're just dropping like flies here for Fort Worth. May not matter. They're still in the driver's seat like we've been talking about, but it's still not a fun thing to see.
Yeah. So here's Vancouver, 1st and 10 at their own 48. Pretty much right at the midfield line. Come out in a twin set. Will they pass or will they continue this run-heavy offense that we've been seeing? Handoff here to Sudo Nakai, right up the middle. Tackled by Ben Stone there. It looks like a score spear from Bill Goldberg back in the WCW wrestling Monday Nitro segments.
Yeah, setting up for the jackhammer. Yeah.
Did I just age myself?
That's all right. You and I are in the same boat. Monday Night Wars forever. All
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, those wars will never get old between the WWF. What was it? Universe at the time? No, Attitude Era. That was the Attitude Era.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And WCW Monday Nitro. Oh my goodness.
Brett Killian trying to stone cold stun this Fort Worth Toros defense with a great route, great catch. He's had a really great game. No matter how many times we talk about Vancouver's drives kind of stalling out or having those turnovers, Brett Killian and Kinder Wells have both been great.
There's another handoff here to Redford. Picks up 6.
Thought Redford might break that one, actually. He was trying. He kept his legs turning, but still good enough to get 6 on the play. Vancouver they're driving now. They were almost at midfield when this drive started, and they're in pretty good field position now at the 30. In field goal range for sure, but they need to score touchdowns.
In motion is Stephen McMichaels. Another handoff here to Nakai. I'm sorry, not Nakai. This is the fullback again. He bounces it outside. That's Mateo Pravada.
And they've run that a few times, and that was the second time it's been really effective. Bravado getting out in space around that edge just fast enough to outrun that first line and got enough for a first down.
There's a rollout here for Christian Brown. Brown pass caught by Kendra Wells. That's 7,000 right there for her career.
Huge.
Here is Christian Brown. 5-step drop. That pass is caught incomplete. Intended for Brett Killian.
Yeah, a little bit behind Killian, but they're bumping up the tempo now. We can see it. 18 points is a lot to overcome in less than 5 minutes, so Vancouver's starting to turn on the gas here, try to put some points on the board.
I think the name needs to change for this Fort Worth team to the Fort Worth goal line defenders.
Oof, yeah, they're tough.
Nickel defense, looks like pressure's coming along. Watch Delaney Nash from that safety spot. Nash doesn't come, but the running back does at the top, and man, oh my, what a bang play there by Adam Leach.
Man, Adam Leach had stars in his eyes. I think he saw another pick 6 coming to the Toro's way. He tried to jump that route, but it was just contested enough for it to fall to the ground. It's close though.
Shotgun bunch. 3rd and goal from the 6. Kendra Wells down to the bottom of the field. She runs an in route pass, thrown in the end zone, almost intercepted by Tobias Gordon.
Tobias Gordon almost had the 3rd pick for the Toros in the end zone in this game, which would be an extraordinary stat, but it's just, he's going to kick himself when he sees that tape later. That was in his paws. We couldn't grip it. To win is in for a field goal attempt here for Vancouver. I don't get this.
I don't get this either. I think you have to go for it.
It makes it a 2-possession game. I get that. The sheet probably tells you go for 3 because it makes it 2-possession. Makes really no difference. It's a 3-possession game at 18 points, but it's still a tough call.
I was expecting a fake there. But they didn't do it. As we saw Mexico City versus Baltimore last week, Mexico City pulled off the fake field goal. And here's going to come an onside kick attempt here. I think you got to kick this one high. Oh. Nice catch.
That was a really nice catch. Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. That's a backup running back, Ray Jackson, on the hands team there for Fort Worth, and just snatching that. Looked like Larry Fitzgerald pulling that one in.
What, sure hands from a halfback position, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's on the hands team for a reason. So Fort Worth set up nicely here at the 45. And they can run this thing out, not all the way, but, well.
Robert Garrett picks up the first down.
Forget what I said about running the ball out.
Yeah, what's the guy up there in the boot nose?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. That's why I'm up here.
I thought they were going to go run heavy here myself, partner.
I'm just up here saying ignorant stuff, and then the coaches are like, no, you don't know what we're doing.
Like a tight end hot there from the Cowboy.
Toro's staying aggressive. I like it. I mean, stay aggressive. You've got this big lead, but still want to take care of things.
Here is Fort Worth at Vancouver's 33. Handoff here to Bacon. Bacon gets tied up behind offensive lineman Gordon Enorma. Here's a look at Andy Hamilton, head coach, offensive coordinator for this ball club. I think Andy's the OC.
I think that's the first time we've called Bobo Caudill's name. He was in there for the tackle there. He is just enormous. Huge player. 350 pounds, 6'7". First season with Vancouver. He was with San Diego last year.
Here's a man in motion, Stephen Hacker. It's kind of hard to really get the offensive lineman names called involved if they're not on any, pulling plays. There's Robert Garrett Jr. picks up the first down and more. Somebody got to get this guy down.
Downs, too. What a play by Robert Garrett Jr. There was a moment there where it looks like he might have stepped out of bounds, but decides to actually cut it upfield, keep it going, and then keeps it in bounds on that tackle. What an individual effort by Robert Garrett Jr. to deflect that first tackle, that first attempt to push him out. That's a huge pivotal play for Fort Worth on this game. Really smart play.
And the route he ran, you normally see, you don't see a big guy run an out route and turn it upfield as fast as he did. This is a big guy, 6'7", 268. Reminds me of the great Kylie back in, the movie The Longest Yard, the way he wears number 44.
Yeah.
One step drop here by Ragoon, dumps it off. That pass is caught by Minson. He's back in the game.
Good to see Minson back in the game. That was a good short route. Vancouver playing a little bit off, and that's a good catch inbounds. Keep the clock going. They could run this down all the way to the 2-minute warning.
2nd and 5. You're right, no need to hurry here. (24-9) Fort Worth up on Vancouver. Here at the Stockyards. That's going to be the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Live on the SFL YouTube network. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Damon Simmons, your play-by-play commentator tonight. Alongside me is John Warren here up in the booth. We have Andrew Gibson and Jacob Clear with us on stats, back in the stats truck, our statisticians for the night. And we have Cameron Irvine, SFL commissioner / producer of this production. Here's Jay-Z Bacon. Bacon gets inside the 5. Timeout over.
See Vancouver burn their timeouts here, and not to throw water on Vancouver's hopes here. Fort Worth really in a great position, because if they kick a field goal, and that's where that decision kind of comes back to me, right? Vancouver's decision to kick a field goal, I know it makes it a 2-possession game, but now Fort Worth can just either run this out or kick a field goal and put this game out of reach.
There's Jay-Z Bacon tackled right at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 4. APM Music is unraveled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology and world-class customer service, APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect track for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Kick is up and it's good. And it's going to give Fort Worth a 27-9 lead up on Vancouver. Also, John, upcoming SFL events. Tomorrow, the SFL starts with a Sunday matinee. Haven't said that in a long time without me and my wife going to the movies for cheap. In Charleston at 1 p.m. Eastern, where the Predators will welcome in a dynamic Seattle Nemesis plus DC at Jacksonville. Action resumes at 6:30 p.m. Eastern with SFL powerhouses Florida and Arizona. Live from Phoenix, plus Canton, Louisiana gets it on. Denver, Indianapolis, and Queen City, Minnesota. For the full schedule of kickoff dates and time, visit simulationfl.net. We have a game update. Let's take it to our producer, Cameron Irvine, back at SFL headquarters.
Thanks to Mom. Watch this play from the rookie. Los Angeles having troubles scoring touchdowns today, but Sully Richardson finds Darius Iniguez with the toe tap. Got both in the back of the end zone. 28-16. That's just starting the fourth. Good one in Mexico City. We'll see you after you're done in Texas.
One receiver to another. I love to see when a rookie can get his toe tap in on such. Oh, what a nice reception by Lockett. Between two defenders, and it wasn't just any two defenders. It's from the two defenders of Adam Leach and Ben Stone. Two outstanding coverage DBs.
That was a really great pass by Christian Brown, perfectly placed between those two defenders. Lockett pulling it in. One of the most impressive catches we've seen this afternoon. Might be in a loss here, but hopefully Vancouver can start moving the ball, put some points on the board, maybe make it interesting.
Here's Christian Brown. That pass is going to be incomplete. Intended for Lockett again. Looks like Kenya Wells is telling him, hey, I think you misran your route. You're supposed to go another 5 yards deep.
How about that, Darius? How about that Darius Iniguez in LA? What a player he is. I watched him in the minors really come into his own. He's an impressive receiver. I know LA has got a lot of problems right now with the record and how they're playing, but Darius Iniguez, big bright spot.
Here is Brown. That pass is deflected by Adam Leach, and man, that is a great DB to have on your team.
As good as Killian and Wells have been for Vancouver, the secondary has just been a little bit better, just aggressive, able to break up passes, able to get to the point of attack in time to make good tackles. And also those two huge picks in the end zone. That's really the difference maker in this game.
Adam Leach, 6'4". Cornerback. Pass is caught for a first down. Can't see who caught that. Looks like number 80 on the reception. Zorro Lunar. Here is Christian Brown again. 5-step drop. Dumps it off to Brett Killian. Kenny picks up the first down. Yes, he does. And he stops the clock as well.
That's just a great effort from Brett Killian. It's a 14-season pro. It's just an absolute veteran move here. Knows he's got to get to the sticks. Knows he's got to get out of bounds. Just a great play.
First and 10 hit for Vancouver. Brett Killian targeted 13 times today. 7 receptions for 92 yards. Right at the 24-yard line. 7-step, during a 10-step drop by Brown. Brown got the reception, and it's Kendra Wells. She gets a touchdown on her career night, over 7,000 yards that she passed earlier. And Vancouver is up, is 15 points on the board now.
An exclamation point on a huge day for Kendra Wells. Obviously, the 7,000 yards are huge, but also coming into Fort Worth. I mean, this is a former Alamo City Artillery player. She doesn't like the Fort Worth Toros, so it's good for her to put it up a touchdown, even if it's in this kind of tenuous situation, still down by 2 scores, 11 points, a minute to go. We'll see if Vancouver can execute the onside better than they did the last time.
Yeah. One thing I would like to say is give the offense of Vancouver kudos, even in that, hurry up game time situation there. They put points on the board. That's something the last 2 teams Fort Worth has faced. I mean, not points. They was able to score a touchdown.
Right.
The last 2 teams Fort Worth faced, Houston and DC, was unable to get inside of the end zone, and Vancouver was able to do such that. Although it is late here in the fourth quarter, they still was able to get inside the end zone.
Well, and we're up here in the booth. We're armchair quarterbacks. We can see a lot of things, hindsight 2020 and all that. But I guess I would ask, where was that aggressiveness for the rest of the game? They really called a pretty conservative game, wanted to run the ball. I appreciate them wanting to stick to their strengths, stick to a game plan. But at some point, you get down by 3 scores, with Fort Worth really, really tightening their defense, causing turnovers. You got to maybe start thinking about an alternate game plan, get aggressive, go toward Brett Killian, go toward Kinder Wells downfield. So, they'll have some stuff to look at make some adjustments. That aggressiveness might have been served better earlier in the game.
Yeah, outstanding win here for Fort Worth. We can't take anything away from them for the performance that they put on tonight. They basically, I don't want to say shut down Vancouver, because Vancouver moved the ball all game long. They just really couldn't get in the end zone earlier in the game. The first 2 drives of Vancouver were great drives. They got right inside of the 5-yard line and threw 2 picks on those drives. And that was the tone setting for the defense of Fort Worth, and basically the statement that was made early in this ball game. And basically Vancouver shied away from the pass and consistently ran the ball to keep it out of harm's way, as we saw. So, John, that's going to be the end of the ball game. My name is Damon Simeon, your play-by-play commentator with John Warren here. Along in the stats truck, we have Jacob Clear and Andrew Gibson. John, I got to say that this Fort Worth defense is pretty good, and they're making a statement for themselves here in the SFL in season 22. Right at mid-season here now, this team is on the road. What's your take on this game and your play of the game?
Well, Fort Worth is starting to really get rolling here. They were blown out, embarrassed a little bit by Florida a few weeks ago. 2 big wins against Houston, DC, and now another big win against, I think, a pretty good team in Vancouver. Vancouver's got to make some adjustments, but this Fort Worth Toros team is going to go as far as their defense can take them. I think this is a really incredible defense. The secondary today had an outstanding game. Those 2 interceptions were really the tone setters and difference makers. Aiden Davis really started things out with that 105-yard pick 6, and it never really got back on track for Vancouver. So Fort Worth defense is the tone setter. Marcus Dunhill, hopefully he's okay, can get back into this offense and lead them to another great season. So yeah, I think it's Aiden Davis for me is my player of the game. Really outstanding game for this Fort Worth team. And Vancouver, I think they've got the pieces. They've just got to look at game plan and adjustments when they get into certain situations.
I like that Aiden Davis pick for player of the game. I'm going with Dave Ragoon. That's what I'm going with. Kept things rolling when Marcus Dunhill went down. I'm starting the QB controversy in Fort Worth. Hey, and I'm going to leave it at that. Hey, everybody.
He did a great job, so I don't blame you. He did a good job.
Hey, everybody. I was your play-by-play commentator tonight, Damon Simmons, and alongside me was my good buddy, John Warren. We're going to be heading out of here. See you when we see you. Peace.